David, his story. Elon Musk's lawsuit against Media Matters, a really, really reputable, amazing news organization. And the Ken Paxton press release. David, talk to us.
I'm going to stare into the camera for this one. Stuff's heating up, people. No, that's it may or may not go anywhere because the law is the law and it's an exercise in futility and spinning wheels and wasting time. Elon Musk has sued Media Matters for America, MMFA, which really sounds like mother effer is what it sounds like, and sort of what they act like. Media Matters for America, at one point in time, was funded by George Soros, $1 million, I think, in 2010. It's had on such wonderful names of satanic demons as Hillary Clinton was a counselor, an advisor.
She worked for Media Matters, and
she was involved. Podesta was offering them office space back in the day. Bottom line, it's like, I don't know, propagandist is not the word, activist is not the word.
It's worse.
PR firm.
They are a satanic PR firm.
I love it. Fuck the hell with them. I hate them.
No,
they're the cause for a lot of the problems that we have.
Absolutely. And they go out and they seek to bankrupt, terrorize, harass people who, I'll say, speak the truth, but people who speak a narrative that they don't like. It's their MO.
They try to destroy you, too.
They try to destroy you. And they've now gone after Twitter, or X, for God's sake.
Also known as...
the platform formerly known as Twitter. They've gone after X. They published a report, and it's just lies, or deceitful lies, because it's true technically, but how they got to it is very interesting. Published a report last week, said Elon's X is running ads next to Nazi, Hitler-praising handles. What was the extent of their report? Well, it's now been revealed in this lawsuit. Their allegations, so you take them for, not at face value, but you take them as that which needs to be proved in a court of law. But I assume that Elon knows what's going on. The way they got to that is they didn't create new accounts, because accounts under 30 days have certain ad restrictions on them. And I don't know what it is exactly. They took over or accessed accounts that had existed for more than 30 days to bypass the ad restrictions that are available or imposed on new accounts.
Demons.
And what did they do? They only followed Nazi accounts, Hitler-praising accounts, and big brand accounts.
Wow.
And they did that so that they can then artificially, and they only followed a few, like they followed 30.
30 or 40?
Yeah, like something like, I don't know, I'll say 9 times less than the average person follows. So the algorithm is sort of like bouncing between, oh, you like Hitler and Nazis, and you like Reebok and IBM. And so they just kept on literally hitting refresh, 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 so that it would populate an ad that would appear next to a Nazi-ish website. And apparently the odds of this happening were like 1 in 500 million. So Elon has sued now for its, let's say, disparagement, which is sort of like defamation for businesses. Tortious interference. It's a good lawsuit. I think it's, I analyzed it yesterday, and from what someone told me today, Dan Bongino featured a bit of my analysis on his show.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Wow. Because one of my fears or concerns is that, when it comes to tortious interference in the Oberlin case, remember the Gibson's Bakery, where they said that's a racist bakery with a history of racism. Don't do business with them. Absent from this lawsuit, as far as I'm concerned, is sort of like the active call to action from Media Matters in their report. They say, oh, well, this is what we've found, and they don't tell anybody to do anything. So there might be a missing of a call to action. The other question is going to be also, they found it, they had to curate it specifically to produce that result, but it nonetheless is true that if you game the system deliberately, maliciously, you can get a pairing that IBM will find offensive.
Wow.
Punchline to all this, by the way, is IBM, Apple, who else? Some of these other companies.
Some big, huge companies.
Pull their ads, hundreds of millions of dollars. They pull their ads and say, we don't want to be involved in this. It's like, we don't want to be next to Nazi websites. Or Nazi
without even like waiting for to be proven.
Because they don't give a crap.
They don't give a shit.
It's pretextual. They want IBM, Apple doesn't want any more of a free speech platform on Twitter than Media Matters.
You're right.
This is the game. It's the corruption, the modern day corruption. It's wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Not here's an email. Let's screw them.
Look at Apple
the pretext.
Pulling it, John Stewart's shell because he wanted to talk about China and AI.
Talk about China, and they said nope, you're not going to do
instantly. It's like, why even bother having on anything political if you are going to squirm at the least controversial thing?
No, and Apple, if they're going to pull their ads because they apparently were paired next to a Nazi website or a Nazi Twitter handle, while they exploit child slave labor in foreign countries to make their stuff, slave labor to get the cobalt for their batteries. And there's, from what I understand, like nobody's gone after TikTok. Nobody's pulled ads from TikTok, even though they were just glamorizing and lionizing Osama bin Laden's. So it's all bullshit. But may it get a little bit further than Discovery, so we can see how these organizations really work internally.
Yep.
There are anti-SLAPP provisions under Texas law. So like these lawsuits, what Media Matters will argue, this is a lawsuit to stifle my free speech amendment, my first amendment rights, my free speech. I'm talking about I'm exercising my constitutional right on a matter of public importance, and Elon Musk is trying to shut me up and shut me down.
They're really conniving, evil pieces of shit. I really think
they are not people you wouldn't even want to have them as allies, because it would only be a matter of time before they turn on you for whatever the reason.
And David, great reporting. The fact that like you said, I mean, I'm happy that he's suing with the monetary side of it. Well, what people don't realize is now, because it's all over the news and it's everywhere, now it's just Elon Musk, anti-Semite, hates Jews. You notice the reputation, besides, I mean, the money's huge and the advertising is huge, but the average person that's not listening, that's at home or in here in this room, right now, if you think of Elon, what is it? Oh yeah, he hates Jews. That's the automatic thing that's going to be in people's faces.
There's no question, because it's the way it works. Is you can never really shine off the poop once it's been thrown.
100%. Still stinks.
Flip side, making this as public as he is with the civil lawsuit, it's now garnered the attention of Paxton, the Attorney General who just survived his highly politicized impeachment attempt in Texas. He's announced an investigation, criminal and civil, into the way Media Matters does things.
Good.
Now, I'm floating this idea with other legal people who are actually attorneys in the States. Okay. You know, if there's a criminal or civil finding of fraud at a subsequent to that type of investigation, I mean, it would obviously do wonders for the lawsuit, where they're not going to be able to say now this is an anti-SLAPP lawsuit.
Yeah.
And then there's another one, I think Mississippi, I forget it. There's another attorney general who's looking into it. I tagged Attorney General Moody out of Florida, say, you might want to look into this.
Why not?
Get them all on it, because it smells like fraud what they did. Sure, it happened. They managed to make it happen, but only through, it would be contrary to the terms of service, gaming of the system, and inorganic use of the platform to maliciously and I'll say deceptively produce a result that they then used to basically try to get Twitter shut down.
What a shit.
And you look at the advantages of what Elon has done with this. Even if this lawsuit goes nowhere, he's gotten the ball rolling, which is what he tends to do with a lot of these things. And of course, we're kind of circling a bunch of different rabbit holes when you discuss this issue, because we could talk about what exactly Elon was posting that got Media Matters so mad at him in the first place. That's a whole other thing that you could do 2 hours on by itself. Or you could discuss the fact that the guy who founded Media Matters was in at one point a gay romance with the guy who owned the pizza parlor at the center of Pizzagate.
Comet Pizza.
Yeah, David Brock is the founder of Media Matters, and he has a really crazy background if you look into it. Basically, he was a conservative who worked at the Heritage Foundation, and he was all pro-conservative everything.
Okay.
Then he was attacking the Clintons in the 90s. Then all of a sudden he switches.
Oh, they probably got dirt on him. They got dirt on him doing something.
To the Clintons, becomes their #1 defender for the last 2 decades. And his entire life is like just vicious attacks on anyone who attacks the Clintons specifically.
Wow. Oh, they got dirt on. They recorded him doing something with an underage kid.
Look at who he was hanging around with.
Yeah, that's those and all these demons.
Yeah, exactly. So Elon has kind of shined light on a lot of that. And, you know, of course, as soon as he does that, CNN headlines and everything, Elon is promoting Pizzagate and stuff. Well, that's not the point. He's calling out Media Matters for
what we have to ask
ridiculous.
is why are the Clintons mad at Elon? Because if David Brock just does whatever they want, then obviously he's acting.
Well, and it's just wild if you try to expose these people for anything or just even ask questions, because Elon about the whole Pizzagate thing, he just put weird. Like, it's just weird.
The argument is that by him replying to anything, he amplifies.
But guess what? He can do whatever he wants. The guy spent how many billions? 40. Let me explain something to you guys. And you guys, because at one point when I was at Valuetainment, I started to lose hope. I'm like, what does it matter? All these people control everything. Brandon, we talk all the time about this deep state, the swamp, and I'm like, but now I'm seeing, bro, that slowly, like the Javier Malays, the people going, by the way, Elon Musk, I'm telling you right now, and it hit me right off the jump. I'm like, so you mean to tell me a guy that literally is trying to save the human race is racist towards one person? you're an idiot. I don't believe it.
He's not starting these wars. He's not moving 2 million people. He's not uprooting people. He's not bombing anything. But all the people who bombed, they're all good. But Elon Musk, he's evil because he tweeted something at lunch.
Weird. Yeah, he's weird.
Not just that, like, they want to shut down green energy while saying we're having an existential environmental crisis. They have no principles. If they had, didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards at all. But, Elon is not the only one also. There's a tweet, I think, Kelly, I sent it to you, about Rumble's front and center in this as well, because it's the free speech platforms where when you're allowed to discuss the origins of COVID, when you're allowed to discuss the potential side effects of the safe and effective jab, and I'm putting that in quotes, they come after you too. And so it's a very similar thing with Rumble. I think it was Media Matters that claimed there was an ad running adjacent, there was an ad running adjacent violent of a video. Nobody on Earth, Chris put out the tweet, nobody on Earth saw that video except for the people who were looking into it.
Wow.
0 views. And so then they read, Rumble's racist, Rumble's anti-Semitic, Rumble has conspiracy theory content on the platform. And even if true, conspiracy theory has proven to be more accurate than the bullshit the mainstream media has been putting out for 5 years.
Yeah, and I don't even use that C word anymore. I tell everybody, David, I'm a coincidence theorist. It's like, how many more, which this is perfect, David, is going to lead into my January 6th tapes. How many more failures of intelligence? How many more, we knew something was going to happen, but we let the guys go. How many more of these situations are going to have to happen? I'm being genuine. I want to ask all you guys. Until the people go, okay, guys, enough is enough. Get rid of this conspiracy, I can't believe I just said it, conspiracy theory, which the CIA created to make people sound like we're crazy.